welcome to the Prophecy Club. We're going to continue talking about the EAS message, the national emergency that is at least scheduled to be going off today. I just heard Trump say on the radio that he doesn't want to do anything to interrupt Kavanaugh's confirmation. Here is him saying it, which, in my opinion, means that we may not see the EAS message until after Kavanaugh is confirmed. Donald Trump.
I don't want to interrupt what's going on with Judge Kavanaugh. I don't want to do anything to interrupt what's happening with Judge Kavanaugh.
There is an emergency alert, similar to an Amber Alert. It is scheduled to go out today, Wednesday, October the 3rd at 1:18 Central Time or 2:18 Eastern Time. It is supposed to go out to every cell phone in America. And they say you can't block it, but I've got some news on that. We'll get to that in just a second. And when this national emergency is declared, I believe that there's going to be 50,000 people arrested. These are the people that are involved in sex trafficking or corruption. 50,000 people will be arrested, probably all within a 24-hour period or definitely within a week. What does this mean? I believe that it symbolizes the fall of America. I believe it will say that America is now in the start of the internal revolution without question. It is going to be proof, the end times, that trouble is here and the tribulation is only a few years away. I believe it is going to signal to the average person on the street. They are going to begin to start asking what is going on. Then the great earthquakes prophesied by Dimitri Duduman and Michael Boldea, his grandson, and others are going to be near. The prophecies of the last days, the end times, are going to begin to be fulfilled more and more. We will be in the birth pains, and it means that the birth pains get harder and closer and closer and harder until finally the baby is born, until finally Jesus returns. People are going to start waking up like we've never seen in our lifetimes. The churches will begin to fill up. Miracles will return to the church. Judgment and miracles go together. So when you see the judgment, that's what I was told August the 8th, 2015, when I heard the words, "This is the time of miracles," and he spoke to my heart and said, as the judgment hits, so will my miracles. Judgment and miracles go together. It also means that we're getting very close to massive amounts of oil being discovered in Israel. And I think I know someone that might be involved in that. I think I know probably who is going to be discovering those massive amounts of oil. Matter of fact, it's probably going to be the same guy that is organizing meetings in sports stadiums. The masses will soon start moving to Israel. World War II is approaching. So when you see the 50,000 people rounded up, be it today or be it delayed, at least according to Q, in my interpretation, what he's saying, it will happen in October. The EAS message is supposed to be saying, this is a test, no action need be taken. That's what it's supposed to be saying. But I'm saying, and by the way, this is not a thus saith the Lord, and I'm not a prophet. So if it doesn't happen today, do not call me a false prophet. I'm not a prophet. I am a watchman. And Ezekiel 33:6 tells me that if I see a sword come, I'm commanded by God to warn the people. So I am doing what I'm called to do. I'm not saying this is a thus saith the Lord. I'm not saying God told me this is coming to pass. I'm not a prophet. I'm a watchman. And a watchman warns you. And in our case, we've got about 725 people that have been fasting and praying that this won't be the fall of America, that these bad things won't come. So if it doesn't happen, don't call me a prophet, a false prophet, or anything like that. Don't do that. Don't, if I could say this just frankly and bluntly, as a Christian, as brothers in the Lord, let me just say, don't be stupid. Don't be above that. Understand how the heart of God works. Understand that he sometimes says things to get people to change. His heart is not to prove that he can speak to someone. His heart is to fill his kingdom. And he doesn't mind making someone a Jonah, meaning that he has said something that did not come to pass if it fulfills his purpose to build his kingdom. So if it doesn't happen, don't blame me. I'm doing my job. I'm a watchman. I'm warning you. Okay, so let's talk about some things that just happened. Now, I'm making this broadcast on Tuesday at 11:41 in the morning. This morning, and these are my yes reasons. These are my yes reasons why the warning may, in fact, actually go forth today, the day you're listening to this, October the 3rd. One is, this is the 8th day of Tabernacles, the Feast of Tabernacles. Now, when we hear the word feast, don't think about eating. Instead, understanding it's an appointment. So maybe we should say the appointments of God for tabernacles. And today is the 8th day of the feast or the appointments of tabernacles. Today is the day of new beginnings. So would you think that that would be appropriate time for 50,000 people to begin to be rounded up, which is actually the start of the next Civil War, actually the start of the next American Revolution? It may start today. I believe if it doesn't start today, I'm saying when on this, I'm pretty confident this is going to happen. When that next, and maybe not even the next one, but there will be, in my opinion, again, this is not of thus saith the Lord, there will be an emergency message, an emergency alert, an EAS message come out from the president that will announce a national emergency. When that happens, they're going to arrest 50,000 people. Now, wouldn't that make sense that that would happen on October 3rd, the 8th day of Tabernacles, the day of new beginnings? I think so. Further, this morning I woke up. Now, let me just tell you, I have an iPhone, but I'm just not much into iPhones. I use it to call my wife. Mostly I use it to take phone calls from my wife. Yes, I will stop by and get some milk on the way home. That's pretty much my extent of using a phone. But I have an iPhone. And I don't like updating my computer or my phone. Why? Because perhaps you recall about 5 years ago, Apple updated its phone and everybody's phone slowed down on the day that they just offered the new iPhone. And there was some lawsuits over that because it actually slowed down the old phones to make people want to buy their new phone. So I don't trust them. I don't trust Apple. I don't trust Microsoft. I don't trust those guys. Well, this morning, my phone wanted to do an update. Well, I've already fought my phone long enough to know that you can't stop the updates. You can continue to annoy yourself and beat yourself over the head by keep telling it, no, I don't want an update, but eventually you get tired of that. So I let it update. And guess what happened after it updated? It announced that if my phone is locked, it would no longer receive emergency messages and alerts. Let me say it again. If my iPhone is locked, it would no longer receive emergency messages and alerts. Now, I actually want to receive this alert message, so I tried to turn my iPhone back on. I don't think I was able. Now, here's the big question. Why would Apple update my phone 24 hours before an emergency message, a test emergency message, similar to an Amber Alert, is supposed to go out? Let me ask that again. Why would Apple update my phone just to turn off my ability to receive emergency messages and alerts if it was in a locked position? All right, now what's locked mean? That means that if my phone is just sitting there, means if I'm not actually using my phone at the time or talking on my phone, or somehow if my phone is not unlocked, I wouldn't get it. So if it's just a test similar to an Amber Alert, well, why go to the trouble of updating my phone just to turn off messages and alerts? Let me say it again. Think through. If it's just an Amber Alert, it's just another test. If it's just a test message from the president, why go to the trouble of updating everybody's phone and telling them that it will no longer receive these type of messages if it is locked, meaning if it's just laying there or if it's in your pocket or purse or something. In other words, unless you are using it, you won't get the alert. Perhaps the alert scheduled for today, Wednesday, October the 1st at 1:18 Central Time, will be a test. But this makes me think. Apple knows something. Well, at least they either know that this EAS or some future EAS won't be an alert, or they know this one won't be an alert. So, to me, in that Apple went to so much trouble to update my phone and to be able to turn off these messages and alerts unless I had my phone on, that makes me think that they know something. That makes me think that either this won't be a test or that shortly after this test, there's going to be one coming out that's not going to be just a test. Now, those are the reasons why I think that an EAS may, in fact, go forward today, Wednesday, October the 1st, 2018 at 1:18 Central Standard Time. Or maybe it won't. So I also wrote down some reasons why I think it might not go forward. So I was thinking the EAS message would need to be delayed for the following reasons. One is the Judge Kavanaugh confirmation. You see, Q says that the arrests will be both Democrats and Republicans. They know who is on the roundup list. Probably some would be voting for Judge Kavanaugh, and they know that they're about to be arrested. So they want to get Judge Kavanaugh confirmed before they are arresting these 50,000 people. So could the vote be changed or permanently delayed because some senators were arrested? Well, of course. So that might cause the whole plan to have to be delayed until he is confirmed. You see, that would force them to wait until after, well, at least that's the Dems' plan, is to wait until after the midterm elections, and the Dems are hoping, and I'm sure praying, that they will win the midterm elections, and then they can not only stop Trump, but they can also stop this Kavanaugh thing. So I said I thought Trump would be elected in the biggest landslide in my lifetime. Remember I said that? I said that on the radio. I said I thought he would be elected in the biggest landslide of my lifetime, and I was right. Now I say that there won't be just a red wave, but I believe we're about to see a red tsunami. Neither one was from prophetic information. I simply observed the number of people attending the Hillary rallies versus the Trump rallies, and I said I've never seen so many people attend a rally, a Republican rally, like this in my lifetime. I mean, Trump was filling up the sports stadiums. Well, now we see Trump having rallies several times a week, not only packing out the house, but he's had to put up these big screens outside. He said in the rally just last night there was 20,000 people outside. Now, I have never seen any politician so beloved as Donald Trump. I've never seen a president do so much and have so much success. And I have said we are about to see the Dems kicked out en masse. I believe that. Not just in Congress, but in all elected positions. Now, the mainstream media has made a big mistake. I think that they have exposed themselves. You see, I think that most Americans didn't know just how corrupt the media was. As a matter of fact, I think that when Trump started his candidacy, when he started pointing out the corruption in the mainstream media, I think that the average American probably put their hand over the mouth and went, oh, really? Really? They didn't realize. Matter of fact, I'll say this. I didn't realize that the media was as corrupt as I have seen it become. I think most people listening right now, you're saying, yep, I didn't know it was this bad either. Trump did. So what he has done, he has exposed the mainstream media for the evil, corrupt people and the evil, corrupt message that they carry. See, I believe that America has seen their heart, and they've seen their heart as biased, full of lies, and full of hatred. Well, Trump has exposed them, not just once, but countless times. It's almost like every time he talks, he makes a point to beat on the mainstream evil media. Well, the evil exposed itself in the mainstream media, and then we have the Kavanaugh confirmation hearings. 250 people acted like an ass, if I can say that in a kind Christian way. They exposed their evil heart. Well, Christians will never believe the mainstream media again. I don't think so. I don't think they're ever going to believe them. They're not ever going to have credibility with most Americans again. Why? Why? Because the heart, and I'm not talking about just Dems or Republicans here. I'm talking about the heart of most Americans. Most Americans are not socialists. Now, let me give you an example. I read this story, and I've researched it several times. I've found it to be true. So back when our forefathers got off the Mayflower, they decided, well, because they're all Christians, they decided, or mostly, that they were going to do like the first century Christians did. They were going to have all things common. And so that year they just shared everything that they had. Well, when winter came, some of them starved to death, some of them froze to death, so they decided that wasn't going to work so good. So the next year they decided to abandon communism, which is what that was. And they decided they were going to go to the capitalist way, and they said, okay, here's what we're going to do. Nobody is going to share with anyone. This year, if you want to eat in the winter, plant in the spring. No one is going to share with you. Well, that year they had a bumper crop, so much so that they decided to have a big celebration, get everybody, both the white people that come over as well as the native Indians, and they had a big feast, and they gave it a Thanksgiving, and that's where Thanksgiving originated, meaning the heart that God gave this nation is not a heart of communism, of all things common, or everybody owns everything. Instead, God put the heart of capitalism into this nation. So most Americans in their heart are basically capitalists. Well, the Democrats have gone communist, especially with this election. This lady up here, this or Cortez, whatever. I'm sorry, I don't have enough respect for her to even get her name right. Communist. That lady that won the big landslide, anyway, a big surprise election. Ever since then, all the Dems have grabbed on to communism. Well, I think that's the hand of God. And since the Dems have gone communist and America won't follow them, the Dems have revealed their hatred for Trump, Republicans, and basically people in general. So even sinners in America treat people with kindness and respect. See, I believe that God gives a nation their heart. Like Dimitri said, he was harsh to other people. And I commented about that one day, and he said, well, Romanians are just harsh. I remember one time we were in Israel, and we saw our bus driver and our Israeli guide just going at it, man. And, of course, the 28 people on our tour, our mouths were open, and we were shocked that they were arguing and just fussing and fighting and hollering at each other. And after it was done, they turned around and looked, and you can imagine all 28 people were stunned. Our mouth was wide open. We were shocked that they were talking to each other like that. And our Israeli guide explained, oh, no. He says, this is the Israeli way. We are just harsh. We just talk loud, and we just argue with the people like this. We do this with one another all the time. It's okay. It's okay. Well, wasn't okay with Americans. Now, that's my point. See, God has given America a heart. Let me quote for you. This is Daniel 7:4. This is talking about the lion that had eagle's wings. And it says, the first was like a lion. that's England, and had eagle's wings, meaning America came out of England, and I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, meaning that America will fall, and it was lifted up from the earth and made to stand upon feet as a man. Here it is. And a man's heart was given to it. God gave America a heart. So Americans won't go along with an evil heart, be it whatever color, whatever race, or whatever political persuasion. And since the Dems have leaned toward socialism and communism and hate, the average American just not going to go along with it. When it comes to the midterm elections, you watch, see if I'm not right. It's not going to be a red wave. It's going to be a red tsunami. I think the Republicans are going to kick the Democrats out wholesale. Massive. Why? Because Jeremiah 51 verse 9 says, we would have healed Babylon, that's America, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let every man return unto his own country. This is our Jeremiah 51 verse 9 moment. When we get to heaven, and God shows us a replay of these 6,000 years, we're going to say, God, how come you destroyed America? Why did you let Russia attack us and defeat us? We were doing so much good. God is going to look back, and he's going to show us, you see, Trump? You see what I did? You saw that I gave America a chance. I gave America a chance to heal by arresting 50,000 corrupt individuals and giving you a man after my own heart, Trump. But you didn't heal, so I had to destroy you. You see, I believe that Trump has awakened a sleeping giant. He has awakened the church, conservatives, and the independents. The only ones still hating Trump are really the accusers of the brethren. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying unto me, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before God day and night. You see, the job of the devil, Satan, Lucifer, is to stand before God day and night and accuse people of doing wrong. Now, he's the guy that first sinned. He is full of sin. He is the author of sin, and he cannot tell the truth even when it sounds better. But he's the guy that stands up there and says, oh, but look, Kavanaugh threw ice at people when he was in high school. Come on. How ridiculous. Okay, so Dems, are you saying that our Supreme Court justices have to be perfect without sin? Well, you know, the last guy that was perfect and had no sin, they crucified him. Besides that, he that is without sin, let him cast the first stone. See, the only ones still hating Trump are the evil-hearted ones, whose hearts are full of the devil. All right, now, let's talk about this EAS. I think I still got a few more minutes here. As I just posted a video about a week ago, it has about 150,000 views here in the last week, which, by the way, I'd recommend you watch it. It's called Will Judgment Hit October 3rd, or Sevenfold Miracles to Follow. Now, that's what is up on the video portion of it, but underneath the wording is EAS is National Emergency 50K arrest on October 3rd. As I've been saying, this is not a thus saith the Lord, but an EAS message is scheduled, which is similar to an Amber Alert, is scheduled to go out today at 1:18 Central Time. I'm saying it's not a thus saith the Lord. There's about a 95% chance that the message won't say this is a test, no action to be taken. I'm saying there's a 95% chance, and I'm saying this from secular sources, that the message will say national emergency. And if you see those two words, know, brothers and sisters, all of the things, the arrests, they're probably all taking place, regardless of when. I'm saying President Trump will use the EAS message to declare a national emergency and to arrest 50,000 sex traffickers and corrupt individuals. Now, I made this hour-long YouTube video that shows you 14 separate reasons why the arrests of the 50,000 people named in the sealed indictments may take place, followed by military tribunals or trials, which can be completed and sentenced in as little as 3 months. Now, you can watch it free. It's on YouTube. You just go to YouTube and then you type in 3 words, Prophecy Club Channel. Prophecy Club Channel. Then you click on the one that has the round picture, my picture there, and then click on videos. Then the name of the video will pop up. EAS is National Emergency, 50K arrests on October 3rd. I also turned that audio into 2 broadcasts dated 9/25 and 9/26. Matter of fact, the broadcast for the whole week has all been talking about this. So, will the EAS be sent? I believe that if Judge K has been confirmed by then, I don't think there's a question. It will say national emergency. But in that President Trump was forced to order an investigation by the FBI of Judge Kavanaugh, the issue to take no more than a week to investigate, it may be that the entire plan has to be delayed until Judge Kavanaugh is voted in and confirmed. However, the 8th day of Tabernacles is going to be the day of new beginnings, and that's not going to change. So it may very well be that it was supposed to be happening this day, but they have to delay it. What I'm trying to say is it's possible that the EAS message going out today is going to be just a test. But if it's just a test, if it's just a simple Amber Alert, then why did the iPhone, and probably the other phones, though I don't know that, probably all of the phones were changed so that you don't get the EAS message if your phone is locked at the time. At least that's what my iPhone said this morning. I'm not an expert in this. I could have misunderstood it, but that's my understanding on it. Either way, I believe that once Judge Kavanaugh has been voted in and confirmed, once that vote is taken, be he in or be he out, then the national emergency will be declared. Now, what's going to happen? As you know, I've become a big fan of Q, which, by the way, you can check it out for yourself. It's QAnon.pub. That's QANON.pub, like the first 3 letters in public. Q as in anonymous, .public. QAnon.pub. You remember, I've been saying that Q is not Trump, but the person doing this, or persons, can physically touch his desk every day. I believe that it is someone very close to Trump, perhaps a cabinet member, someone that definitely works in the White House. Well, I have proof now. So here it is, October 1, this is one of his posts. Does POTUS normally tweet, parenthesis, heading to X, parenthesis, prior to a rally? Today, for the first time, we IDEN where we would reconcile, meaning normally he posts, and of course it has here, we're heading to West Virginia, heading to Ohio, heading to Dubuque, heading to Missouri, and it shows his other tweets where he is saying that he's heading to his favorite places. Q says this particular week, Q is saying that Trump normally tweets when he is going, but today he didn't. Instead, today, Q posted where he is going on QAnon. He goes on to say, does POTUS normally tweet heading to X, to this location prior to rally? Today, for the first time, he didn't. Meaning, he posted through the Q site. And they're saying that's kind of confirmation that he is connected with the Q site. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers. And thank you for those gifts of support, which we, by the way, do need.